Good afternoon, everybody. If I can say so, I don't know if it's good for everybody, but for the Ukrainians, it is not the better one. 4 days of resistance. 4 days that have changed not only my country, but the whole world forever. For those 4 days, Russia launched, you see, aggression, well, against Ukraine in the very heart of Europe. Well, I will give you some telegraph information. They started their attacks, they started their invasion on Ukraine from the territory of Russia, from the territory of Belarus, from the temporarily occupied territories of Donbass and Crimea. Russia uses all its military potential to attack Ukraine. Well, I have told you 4 days of resistance. During 3 of those days, I was in Kiev because I arrived in Kiev in order to organize the working visit of your Prime Minister Yanis Yansha, to Ukraine. But it didn't happen. You see, well, I would like to express really my gratitude to the Slovenians, to the Slovenian government. You see, because when the invasion started, well, let us use the proper words. When the war began, you see, well, just I was in contact with the Prime Minister, I was in contact with the State Secretary Igor Sinchar, I was in contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, well, and I was informing them about all the events, what is going on. That's hard to believe that in the 21st century, something like this can happen in Europe. For those 3 nights, Russian missiles keep dropping their bombs, their ballistic rockets on civilians, on their heads, on the buildings. Russian tanks keep trying to force their way into the Ukrainian capital. Well, it is the most terrific and horrifying period in the life of my country and in the life of my capital city, Kiev, since, I will tell you frankly, since 1941, sorry. That never happened before. The Russian troops continue severe shelling of both military and civilian objects. You see, well, just I will show you some pictures. Well, this is the sky in the evening over Kharkiv city. How does it look like? You see, I will show you what the Russian missiles, what object are they attacking. This is living area in Kiev. How does it look like? It is Kiev. Well, it is also the living area in Kiev. Is it military infrastructure? No, it is not. Then, well, also a big city near Kiev, it is Chernihiv. Well, such object, which is called kindergarten, was attacked. And how does it look like inside? You see, it is also, well, just according to the Russians, military object. Well, I will tell you one more thing, that at the present moment, the Russian forces seized Chernobyl nuclear power station. And due to the active moving of the Russian military forces and their vehicles, you see, well, the radiation level has increased rapidly. Well, it's really threatening. Well, but I will tell you one more information, one more statistics. As of today, over 210 people, including at least 5 children, were killed in Ukraine, and over 1,115 persons, including 35 children, are wounded. The government institution and are suffering, well, just cyber attacks. The fate of Europe is being determined now in Ukraine. Well, but I will tell you frankly that in response, Ukraine has activated its right for self-defense. Well, according to the Article 51 of the United Nations. Yes, well, I think that the Russians and Putin, well, I will not choose the diplomatic words as far as this person is concerned. It's a sick person. You see, he never expected that the people of Ukraine will be just defending themselves and will be fighting, well, just so actively and severely, with such a self-determination for their motherland, for their land, for their cities, protecting their families, their children, their next of kin. And the Russian troops are suffering losses, aircrafts, helicopters, tanks, trucks, personnel. The aggressor, well, have lost over 3,500 in manpower. Well, I will show you also one statistics. It is changing, but because now it is, as of today, well, just you can have a look the Russian losses at the present moment. And Putin was promising a sort of blitzkrieg while he was planning to capture capital city of Ukraine, Kiev, in 3 days. Well, I have told you that now for 4 days we are just fighting actively in order to protect our country. Well, one more information, perhaps you know that Ukraine break diplomatic relations with Russia. Yes, I have expressed my gratitude to the Slovenians, to the Slovenian government that is helping us. Well, I can't tell you all in details, but humanitarian aid, financial support, and military support. And one more information. 4 hours ago, Mr. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Slovenia, Anžel Logar, tweeted that no Russians honorary consuls on the territory of Slovenia. Yes, that's really a good news. Well, we count upon a proper reaction by the international community, by every country. I will tell you that to express concern, it's not enough at the present moment. You see, some politicians, some political, parties or forces, still are using such a word as a conflict in Ukraine. Well, excuse me. Russian aggression, genocide against my people, can be classified as a conflict? No, I don't think so. It's not a proper word. Well, that's why we do count, on additional support. We do welcome the decision of Turkey to block the access of the Russian vessels, to the Black Sea. We do welcome for introducing the ban on Russian air vessels in the airspaces of a number of European countries, including Slovenia. The United Kingdom, Bulgaria, Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, as I've told you, Slovenia, Poland, Romania, and Czech Republic at the present moment closed their airspace. And it is not the end, because I have the information that at least 10 more countries are finalizing, their decision in order to close their airspace. Yes, the Russian population is actively protesting against Putin's insane decision. Thousands of Russian citizens in more than 50 Russian cities already demonstrated you see, their disapproval of that crazy policy of Putin. We urge the international community to show solidarity with Ukraine in immediate imposing massive, I would like to emphasize, massive coordinated sanctions against Russia. Russia's isolation in all possible international force. To introduce a full-fledged trade embargo on Russia, including gas sector, supporting Ukraine with weapons, protective equipment, ammunition, fuel, providing Ukraine with the financial support. And when I am just telling you what we need, I would like to tell you one thing. You see, what will be used by the Ukrainian army at the present moment, well, as I've told you, ammunition, weapons, well, whatever, will be not used by your army. Because we are not only protecting Ukraine, we are not only protecting our country, but we are protecting Europe. We are protecting the European values. We are protecting the rule of law. We are protecting the human rights. The tragedy is happening, going on in the center, in the very heart of Europe. Well, we call on all international organizations and, well, European countries to provide us the humanitarian assistance. And it is done. You see, well, just once again, I would like to express my gratitude to the Slovenians, to the Ukrainian community here in Slovenia, to the Slovenian enterprises, businessmen that are, you see, well, just are calling every, let us say, half an hour, every hour, proposing us their support, their aid, and we are working, my team that is present here is working actively with them. Yes, I do believe so much that in the nearest future will be the end of this cruel, bloody story. Yes, well, I do not hesitate even 1 second that we shall win, but we need support. We need real friends, because you know that a friend in need is a friend indeed. And I would like to use some patriotic words. Glory to our defenders. Glory to our soldiers protecting our country. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
We saw that you are going to negotiate with Russia in the border. It's the latest news.
Well, the fact is, I don't know what news are you following. The fact is that Mr. President has said, yes, Mr. President has said that we are ready to negotiate with them, but not as the Russians would like to do that. Do you know their answer? A few days ago, they sent us an answer that yes, they are ready to negotiate with us if we surrender. You see, if we refuse from our NATO aspirations, you see, and if we refuse from that weapon that we have received. No, these are not the conditions that are acceptable. Yes, every war ends with negotiations. Yes, and we are going to negotiate, but we are not going to refuse from our European and Euro-Atlantic aspirations.
Are you sure about Turkey and Black Sea and blockade?
Yeah.
Because as we know, it's they said that they will think about it.
No, it is
It's happened.
Yeah, it happened. They blocked access. You see, they closed Bosphorus.
So how was in Ukraine?
My personal feelings. Well, The fact is that, as I've told you, I spent 3 days in Kiev. We managed to leave Kiev on Friday because, just next day, all the bridges around Kiev and leading to the main roads were just bombed and exploded. You see, I will tell you that I'm proud for the people of Ukraine. Perhaps Putin and Russians were counting that when war starts, when shelling of our positions starts, that there will be panic. Just Russian propaganda, used to spread such news that the Ukrainians will be meeting the Russian soldiers with flowers. Yes. Just now they need flowers to put on the graves of their soldiers that have died on the Ukrainian soil. No panic. You see, I'm simply proud of the people, that self-determination, self-organization. Yes, and one more information, that at the present moment, you see, not only the Ukrainian soldiers and the Ukrainian army is protecting and is fighting for our country. At the present moment, 37,000 of Ukrainian citizens have already joined the so-called territorial defense units. You see, and the people are standing in the line in order to join those territorial defense units. That's why, you see, if we have such people, then I'm sure that we shall win.
How long did you need to cross the border?
It took me 1 day, so to say, 24 hours, to cover 800 kilometers. Because, I will tell you frankly that we were just informed when you hear the sirens. It means that, you see, there will be the air attack, that the aviation is closing, that you should run, you should keep calm, but you should try to run to the bomb shelters. You see, I didn't manage to do that because we live on the 8th floor. You see, and I had to be in constant communications with my ministry, with your ministry. I had direct contact with Mr. Prime Minister Yansha, with Igor Sinchar. I was informing them, you see, about the development of the situation. And I am thankful for that really quick reaction, you see, and for that decision to give a helping hand and support to Ukraine, to my people.
Where did you cross the border?
It is Hungarian-Ukrainian border, because it is the shortest way for me to reach Ljubljana. Any questions? Then thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I would simply not ask, but if I may use such a word, request, you see, to spread this information, to spread these infographics, to spread these pictures, in order to show the people the real history, the real truth about what is going on in Ukraine. Because, for the last years, the Russians were saying, always were repeating, that they are not going to attack Ukraine, that they are not present, you see, on the Ukrainian territory. And and what is going at the present moment, going on at the present moment, it's a genocide. It's a genocide against Ukrainian people. And those criminals of war should be punished, and they will be punished. The Hague Court is waiting for them, and I'm sure that it will happen in the near future.
What about paramilitary groups or Nazis?
Nazis?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you
Extremists that Russian side claims that
You know, I will tell frankly, I have told you about the cyber attacks, about the spreading false news. You see, well, I do remember one politician. Well, I wouldn't like to say his name, but he said that Russia is lying on the industrial scale. You see, well, the people, the Ukrainians that decided to fight for their freedom, the Ukrainians that decided to, well, just that have chosen another way of development, that have chosen, well, the European values. Well, we have chosen to join European Union, Euro-Atlantic organizations, well, are called Nazis. Because, well, can you imagine, only those that are, well, just with Russia are not Nazis. Because at the present moment, all are Nazis. Even Slovenians, because you have supported Ukraine, you have supported our people. You see, and, well, just that person that is called the president of Russia now is left alone. Oh, sorry, not alone. He is together with president of Belarus, Lukashenko. And, well, I have mentioned that they attacked us, the Russians attacked the Ukrainian territory, also from the territory of Belarus. That's why you see, well, just I never believe Russian propaganda, and that is, well, they are using their propaganda, their narratives in order to mislead, you see, the international community. But I think that, well, just they will not succeed, because the people, now we are living in the 21st century, and you can see yourself what is going on, what is happening in Ukraine. And I would like to reiterate, it's a war crime. It's a genocide.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.